Welcome back to the Jenna Julien Podcast.
Now with 100% more Mr. Marbles on the table.
100%. All of him right here.
Oh, we're getting like a little sad because the dogs we're going to London soon, so
Yeah.
we have to leave them.
Well, we're going to be in London when you guys are watching this. We're recording it ahead of time.
Spend as much time as possible with the chicken little.
Yeah, little chicken. This episode is brought to you by Marbles, but it's also brought to you by Movement Watches, guys. Classy design meets style at minimum.
Mine's upstairs.
Beautiful watches for affordable prices. Check it out at mvmtwatches.com/JJ, and they'll give you 15% off your first purchase. They have a wide selection of beautiful watches that are at affordable prices. They look like they should cost you about $1,500, but they don't.
And they're
Check
light.
it out. And they're what?
Light and nice.
Yeah, they're really awesome.
Not heavy.
Definitely. Also brought to you by FrameBridge. FrameBridge.com is the new easy way to frame things that you love. Guys, go to FrameBridge.com right now and you can upload pictures. You can even upload pictures directly from your Instagram, but you can upload pictures that you have, and FrameBridge does all the work. You can select from an array of beautiful frames. They will ship it to your house.
And then send it to your mother for Mother's Day.
Send it to your mother for Mother's Day. All shipping is free. Their prices start at $39, and now you can get 15% off if you use product code Jenna Julien when you go to framebridge.com.
Thank you, sponsors. And you guys have seen my watch, the black one, the black on black.
The
on black
MVMT,
one.
yeah. Black on black on black. I love mine.
This has a leather band.
A leather band.
Leather band, Billy Ray.
You guys like our new mic stands?
This
Pretty
is the
sweet,
second
right?
podcast we've had them.
Yeah,
though.
a couple of you noticed that we had them last podcast. It's nice when there's two people on. Seems like it fits better. But
Well,
these are our new mic stands.
Especially if you're me and you sit wherever you want. It's
Whatever,
good because I can go like this if I want to sit like this, and then it's not going to be as much of a problem.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, you can lean back with it, or you can lean fucking forward as fuck with it.
Okay, don't make it weird.
I just made it weird, so deal with it.
Weird.
No, fucking deal with it. Marvel's dealing with it. So, for today's podcast, we wanted to talk about a couple things. We wanted to talk about Stranger Things, and we also wanted to talk about the game Inside that we just finished playing a couple weeks ago on the Twitch stream. Both of them are very intriguing.
But also, like, spoilers. Like, if you haven't watched Stranger Things or played Inside and you're planning on doing either of those, this is probably not the podcast for you.
It goes without saying, even though you just said it, if you don't want to be spoiled, click away.
Click and away. Wait, can we talk about something real quick first?
Yeah, what's up?
JoJo picked Jordan.
You didn't even
On
give
The
him a spoiler for that.
Fucking spoilers. This entire podcast would just be called spoilers.
Well, this is going to have come out maybe Bruce Willis
was dead the entire time in Sixth Sense. Spoilers.
That legitimately is a spoiler, so... But
it's been over a decade.
It's been over like 3 weeks, I think, since JoJo made that decision. So it's okay. Like if you got spoiled now, you probably weren't going to watch it anyway. Yeah. So what about it?
Were you devastated for your Robbie fan?
I'm not gonna lie. I liked Robbie. I had him winning the whole thing.
You're just being a troll. Anyway.
I'm not.
I thought I'd throw that into the spoiler podcast full of spoilers.
Also, Johnny Bananas sucks. That's another spoiler.
Ooh, spoilers!
People were saying I did a whole thing about this in my vlog because I was fucked up by that episode, and people were
talking about the challenge rivals,
and people were like, "Get Sarah on your podcast." Apparently, she has her own podcast.
She's dope.
Brain Candy podcast. Yeah, she's super dope.
She reminds me of my sister-in-law.
Contestants. Yeah. Yeah,
right?
You were saying that the other day. She does, for sure. Super cool.
Like maybe a little more outgoing, a little more outspoken.
Yeah.
But similar personalities.
Definitely. Well, Sarah, hit us up. You can come on the podcast if you feel like it.
Anytime you like.
All right, let's start with Stranger Things.
Whatever you want.
Let's start with Inside.
Okay.
So skip to the second half if you want to watch Stranger Things, but we're going to start with Inside.
Yeah, we played all of Inside on our Twitch stream, and those streams are up on Jenna Julien Games on YouTube if you wanted to rewatch them.
Yeah, we have a channel where we
not
upload
in the
all
Twitch
the streams. Yeah.
You have so many ways to watch them on the Twitch app live or on YouTube, just in case you wanted to catch all of the shitty action of us playing a video game.
It's really not that shitty. It's kind of cool. So
no,
if you're
awesome.
into it. No, the stream is awesome too.
Well, yeah.
It's not a shitty stream.
Well, especially when we made all those zombies dance to Rihanna.
So, Inside is a really cool game. It's cool. Peachy, you got to go in your bed.
No.
Honey. Peachy, come. Peachy, come.
Mama.
Come on. Don't do that. Peachy, come. In your
Conflicting parenting. It's the best way to make sure your child grows up normal.
Anyway, for those who haven't seen Inside, I mean, you can click into another window if you have a second or watch, just kind of get the vibe of it, or we'll explain it to you. It's basically like a really dark, ominous, kind of minimalistic game where...
they made Limbo, right? The first version?
Yeah. And there's theories on if it's based in the same universe as Limbo.
Right, I read that too.
Yeah, but anyway, it's very weird. It's dark. It's confusing at times. And there's a lot that happened that we've looked into, and there's theories on why it happened. And so I guess we can just start talking about it.
What do you got?
So I wrote some stuff down, but who is the boy?
Besides my daddy?
Is the boy a test subject? Because if he's a test subject,
Daddy.
he's are you going to have this conversation, or am I just going to be talking to myself here? If he's a test subject, why is he more sentient? Why does he have these emotions and human qualities?
Time out. Because when we finished playing the game, someone had typed in the chat that the blob was the one controlling the boy.
We'll get to
we've already at least established that as a theory of what the game is.
I have a whole section on the blob. I want to get to that. But
so the boy is able to use his brain, or so it appears, whereas the zombies need to be controlled.
Yeah, and you'll notice initially we need the helmet to control them, but then later on we don't even need the helmet. They just follow us. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So the question of, is he a test subject? Is he one of those drones? Just did he escape along the way so he now has human qualities? He was able to kind of become aware of what's going on. Peach, you gotta get in your bed, huh? Come on. In your bed. You want to sit next to Daddy?
Okay, but I think that I am a believer into the theory that the blob is controlling the boy from the beginning of the game.
Okay.
And
all right, I guess we'll just skip to the blob. Fuck it. Yeah.
The blob is controlling the boy, and in theory, the blob is controlling the game, or the person playing the game, because you're in a little platform game. You don't really know what you're doing. You have a vague outline of what you're supposed to do. So the blob is actually controlling you as well. So then the boy gets to the end of the game, jumps into the blob. Now you're the blob.
Yeah.
And then by the time the blob breaks free, then the game's over. You can't play the game anymore. The blob doesn't need you anymore. So now you're not even being controlled by the blob.
So
the blob's going blob.
Yeah. So that's one of the theories is the whole time, each level, there's not even levels. Each scene you're in, you're given really little information as to what your goal is. You just know that you need to keep going towards a certain direction. You don't really know what you're doing. You're solving these miniature puzzles, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't really know what the whole goal is.
Right.
And so that would definitely back up the theory that the blob is controlling you. He's just
right.
It is just driving you to come free.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I know. I was backing you up with literal research that I had done.
Good.
Okay. What you'll notice though is that once you free the blob from the factory and the game ends, there are two theories. One, you died on impact and the blob is dead, or you're dead and that's why no one can move, or the blob just doesn't need you anymore, you just said, and then you're just kind of trapped inside of something that had been controlling the whole time.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because there are moments where the boy exhibits human behaviors.
Right.
Which would lead you to believe that he's not being controlled by a blob, that he's really just trying to escape the factory.
Right. But there's an alternate ending though that we looked up that shows the boy, instead of going and getting into the blob or whatever, he goes down beneath the tank and hits a switch that turns off the tank or something, to kill the blob, or I don't fucking know. And the boy just flops over dead, and that's an alternate ending. Yeah. So he therefore dies, which only supports the idea that you're not a person.
Yeah.
You have no human, you maybe have some human qualities, but no, you're not a person.
Yeah.
And when the machine turns off, so does the boy. So he's definitely not a person.
I mean, yeah, I would guess that he was in the line of subjects and he escaped somewhere early on. So he was able to keep his human emotions, his mortality.
Well, he's evolved.
Well, no, he's not
evolved.
A zombie. Well, no, but like maybe maybe he got out early enough. Like, you notice he jumps off of a cliff 100 feet down, he'll break his legs and die. If a zombie does that, they'll just kind of flop down and stand back up.
Right. So maybe he's an evolved version of a zombie test subject that has more consciousness. Because the dogs will also chase him and not the zombies.
Yeah. Or he's the opposite of evolved. Maybe he's not evolved into a drone, so he was more of a human before he got.
Okay. So he's some sort of hybrid.
Yeah. 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 I think that's what it is.
Yeah, but we've established that.
Okay. I'm just trying to cover all the subjects here.
No, I know, but...
okay, the long hair girl underwater.
The mermaid?
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch.
So I looked up some things on her, and the scene where you get, like, the rebirth, I guess is what it's called.
Where she gives you the power to breathe underwater.
Yeah, so she drags you all the way down to the bottom.
Then she stops chasing you.
Yeah. The theory is every single time she had tried to get you before that and killed you underwater, she had just failed at her goal of bringing you down to give you that rebirth.
Right.
You knew that?
Yeah, we read the same articles.
Okay.
Well, but you all right, bud?
Yeah. So that explains why every single time you're underneath water after that, she doesn't bother you because she was just trying to help you.
Right. And then when you go in underwater after that, no one's chasing you because now you can breathe underwater. It supports the theory, though, that everything that you run into along the way is only helping you, or the blob is helping you trying to get to the blob.
Yeah.
So the mermaid needs to give you the ability to breathe underwater in order to get to the blob.
Like, then maybe the blob is controlling the mermaid, too.
Yeah, I'm in the school of thought that the blob is controlling everything.
What about all the workers at the factory?
Yeah, he's not controlling them.
But what's their deal? Are they just like, actual human beings going to work at this factory?
Yeah, they were taking zombies and doing weird science shit and making a blob, but it has a level of consciousness, so it cares and it hates being in that tank. And it wants to break free. Yeah. So it finds somebody to mentally control because, like, all the people were zombies. The blob can't mentally connect with anyone to set it free. So it finds this boy that still has some level of consciousness that it can tap into that can come all the way to the blob and free it.
Yeah. That's just crazy to think about. I don't know. It's like, I really want to see what the outside world is. Like, because all you see is the factory, and then you get outside, and then the game's over. Like, I'd love to see if, like, any of this, like, continues outside. Like, if there are more drones, or there are more people being, like, manipulated, or there's more, like, mermaids in the ocean outside, or does it all only exist in the factory? I
think it only exists in the factory.
All right. Well, I guess the discussion is over.
Stop. No, I think that the blob is controlling everything, and then when the game is over, the blob is finally free, and it's just chilling by the lake. Now it's got to figure out what to do. I think it speaks more to, like, society as a whole, and in the future, if you're doing weird science experiments, like, talk about cloning, you're talking about stem cell shit, like, when we're creating these artificial things out of living material, when it comes to a point when it has a consciousness, at what point is it just inhumane to do this? You know? Like, say cloning people was a thing, right? And you get all of these little Julians and all these little Jennas, and you're like, oh, these are just our clones. But those are living, breathing, conscious beings. Yeah. You know, so they created a blob out of other zombies who have no consciousness, maybe. But when you add them all together, they do have a consciousness. Where's the ethical line with that? So I think the point of the game, maybe just to throw a theory out there. Well, to throw a theory out there is that when you cross that ethical line, you need to take that being's consciousness into consideration, because look how far it went to go and save itself because it's in pain and it doesn't want to do that.
Like, you have this whole factory, you have all these security measures, but when it comes to, like, giving something human emotions and human feelings, like, that will overpower any sort of experiment you're doing, because that becomes, I don't know being.
About that. I think it just, I don't know about that. I just think that it poses the question of when you create a science experiment that has a consciousness, that you need to ethically think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because all of these people are just taking these zombies who have no feelings, no emotions. You know, they're all fucked up. Some of them have no head. And they have no, like, clearly they don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
They put them all together. I'm trying to think of a plausible sort of scenario I could draw it in. It's like if you took a bunch of pencils and you put them all together, and then all of a sudden the pencil started feeling something. This giant group of pencils started feeling something. It would be hard for most people to be like, that pencil has feelings. What are you doing? Because everyone's like, it's a bunch of fucking pencils.
Yeah, but these are but these are like almost like hollowed out bodies. Like these are like, they have the semblance of a human being to start with. So it's like, they're not pencils. They're like...
Okay, feathers.
No, but like...
It's like if your down pillow all of a sudden started feeling feelings.
No, it's like mannequins or something that resembles a person. You know what I mean? Like, initially, like, you had this factory line of all these bodies who may have just been people at one point, and you've put them through these process of getting them stripped down to literally just kind of be drones. But like physically, they still sort of embody a person. And so even though they're nothing like mentally and they have no ability to think or do anything for themselves, they still, I don't know what I'm saying, like they still resemble a person. So when you put them all together and they start getting feelings again, like, yes, that should change the way you think of them. But it's also like they were also, like, my opinion is that they were people before anything started. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't just created in a factory. I think that they were stripped down, brainwashed, and like disabled.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure that they were created somewhere. They clearly seem to be people that were then zombified.
Or they could be created. I mean, I don't know.
I think that they were zombified.
I think they were zombified.
I just think the overarching idea of the game is to pose an ethical question.
Yeah. That's fair. I think the whole mermaid thing is also another thing where it's like the whole time you're just desperately trying to escape it and get away from it because it's terrifying and it looks like it's trying to just drown you underwater, but it eventually is the reason you're able to succeed.
I mean, to be fair, the bitch broke the window inside of our submarine in the most horrifying way and dragged us out of it.
Yeah. That submarine was dope, by the way.
She could have knocked and, like, mouthed something that was like, I'm trying to help you. She could have held up a sign. She had a lot of other options. She didn't have to do it that way.
Yeah, but maybe she was just doing
crazy
it
bitch.
in a dire way because the circumstances were desperate.
Crazy.
And she needed to get you down to that machine so you could finally breathe underwater. Because she didn't know when you were going to escape and when she was going to lose you. Because if she lost you, if you're the mermaid and this little boy is trying to run away because you're gross, but you don't know how to speak English, you don't know how to, like, be a diplomat.
Gross.
You're just chasing this motherfucker because you have one goal of helping him. He doesn't know that you're helping him. But in your mind, if he escapes, then you're like, I'm living down here forever. Nothing's ever going to change. The blob will never get freed. Like, I don't know what the blob getting freed has to do with the mermaid, but it has to do something. Like, there is a cause and effect there. So because the blob escaped, the mermaid definitely has a different future than if the blob hadn't escaped. So she's trying to, at all costs, get you out, get you down, give you the power to be reborn as a person who can breathe underwater or as a thing that can be breathed underwater. And that's what she did. And so every time she dragged you down and failed and killed you, that was like a failed attempt.
She's still a bitch, though.
I think she's kind of bitchy. She could have been nicer. But then if she was nicer, it might have not gotten the job done.
No, she had lots of options. She's a bitch.
She was trying to drag a boy with no face underwater.
And nobody has
we're like low-key scary.
It's terrible.
Do the workers have faces?
Yeah, they look like they do. They had like glasses and shit on.
But maybe they don't have faces.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
That's interesting.
What do you think the point of making a blob full of zombie people and parts is?
I don't know, to make some super zombie that you can control and destroy stuff.
Why do you think it's in water? So they were like soaking those people upside down with the zombie parts. To me, it looked like they were trying to prep them to then become a part of the blob. And then underwater in this big giant tank is the blob hooked up to things, but it's underwater.
I think they're trying to create a super weapon monster full of blob. Like, I think they were testing constantly on these humans, like zombies. They were constantly testing, running tests, keeping them locked up in this facility, putting them on assembly lines. Seemingly like there was an end goal of making them all one weapon. Mm-hmm. I don't know why else they would put a tank with all that, everything inside of it, especially with all the security they had, without having some evil intentions of using them as a weapon in some capacity. Even if it is just for tests, just like in, crossover to Stranger Things, like how they're having all these experiments done in this lab, and it's so secret because no one can ever know about the shit that they're doing, because they're doing shit that's wrong, and people can't know about it, and it's for bad reasons, but they'll do it anyway because they can. Well,
yeah, I mean, isn't it sort of the same thing? Is that people are doing science experiments, and all of a sudden you lose control of your science experiment?
Yeah, no, that's definitely. That's a huge theme in this game.
Well, the difference between maybe Stranger Things and Inside is that we don't know, or we might not even be shown ever, what the consciousness or feelings of the aliens are.
Yeah.
Or the shadow things.
Demogorg.
Yeah, because if all of a sudden at the end of the game you were like, oh my god, the Demogorg is so sweet and wonderful and has a consciousness, now I feel weird about the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're made out to be a linear monster. They're just a monster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that makes you think. It's like wild,
I just think it's fucked up. I could never go to work being like, yeah, dude, totally making a giant blob full of zombies today for science,
Well, yeah, but you also would not have been able to live with yourself working at the agency in Stranger Things.
Yeah, no, of course not.
Yeah.
This is like why I didn't become a vet. All I ever wanted to do when I was a kid was be a vet until I realized what a vet actually does. And I was like, count me the fuck out. I do not want to poke animals that I like with needles. And put them to sleep and
you want to do
weird shit.
The opposite of being a vet.
Yeah, I want to do the opposite, which is just pet them and kiss them all day.
I
want to be a vet minus all the doctoring. You know what I mean?
But you still care for them. You're just not healing them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just healing them.
Well, the opposite of a vet technically would be someone who just kills animals because a vet technically saves animals.
Fuck no, vets kill animals too.
Well, yeah, but their goal is to save animals.
You never know.
So if you're the opposite of that,
never know.
your goal is to end
You can't
all
say
animals.
that for sure. You never know. Are you deep in thought right now,
I'm deep in thought.
You're so deep in that thought, though.
You know how there were, did you ever notice that during the game, you obviously had control of yourself and the surrounding items and things or whatever, but there were also moments in the game where you really just felt like you were being controlled by the game?
Like, only having so many options to do things?
Yeah, or when the water shifted and the gravity was upside down, or things like that where you're just like, I'm just kind of the pawn here.
Right, you're playing by the rules someone else's world. The universe that was created.
Maybe all of those moments were calculated to remind you that you are not controlling yourself. Maybe the blob is, you know what I mean? Those moments make me really feel like we are not in our own, in control of ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some theories about it being placed before the game of Limbo or something like that because of the gravitational pulls or whatever in different things. But I didn't finish Limbo.
Oh, you've played it though.
I played a lot of it, but I didn't finish it, so I don't know.
What is Limbo like?
It's sort of.
Did you play it on your phone or something?
Yeah, I played it on my phone. It's like that, except it's black and white and super sort of creepy and just dark.
Yeah.
But it's far more simple than, it's more like Badland than it is Inside.
Okay. So there's Badlands, there's Inside, and here's Limbo.
No. I would, Limbo is even more simple than Badland.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or at least as far as I got. It's just black and white, and it's very simple. It's almost two-dimensional looking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You also know there's no concept of time inside.
How do you know that?
Well, at least to you, there's no concept of time. You don't see the sunrise or set. You don't see any, like, basically, if you were to stand in the level where you could see the assembly line going in the background, if you were to stand there for hours, nothing would change. Like, there's no concept of time. Everything is just happening. It's a factory. You know?
Yeah. So, but there's time. They're in a dimension where there is time.
How do you know that?
Well, because we played the game. I'm saying there's no reference as a player of the game of how much time has gone by because you can't see sun and you can't have any reference as to how much time has gone by.
But there is like a space-time continuum and it is happening linear.
In the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But external of the game, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. It's not like you can just be in the game and check your movement watch and see what time it is.
Oh my God, Julien! All of that.
Movement watches are a sponsor this week, everyone. Make sure for your watch needs, go check out Movement watches. They have really, really sweet, like I'm telling you, like these, when I first saw them, they look really expensive. They look luxury, and they are luxury, but they're affordable, and they start at prices that you would definitely want to spend on a watch because it's quality. They have tons of interchangeable color schemes to match your summer outfit or mood for whatever day you're going for that, with that look. With genuine leather band, 3-hand quartz movement, and stainless steel case, Movement delivers classic watches for prices that's honestly a steal. Steal with it. Steal. Good joke. These watches, they look like they should be $400 or $500, but they're not. They keep them at a perfect price point, starting at just $115, which is enough to know that you're paying for something solid. Right now, guys, go check out their social media pages and see what you like, because if you're impressed as I am, you will join the movement today. Go to mvmtwatches.com/JJ and you get 15% off your entire purchase with Movement, and then you'll be matching us.
Hell yeah.
And then if you love your Movement watch that much, you just take a picture of it and upload it to FrameBridge, where you can get something framed on the internet, all the work done for you, where you just get it sent to your house in a beautiful frame. There's ours over there. I'm going to grab ours.
The frame from FrameBridge? Yeah. That's so cute.
Look at that. It's pretty. It's so nice.
Awfully pretty.
They have all sorts of selections of frames you can get. I actually was going to go with something like really plain, but then I saw this one and I was like,
it looks like we're on the sandy beach.
Or yeah, it's got like a beach or like a like a vacation on a sailboat vibe. I really like it.
Vacation on a sailboat.
Yeah. Something like that.
Why not be on a sailboat?
You guys, and what's cool is you can preview your image in any frame style. They'll do a little mock-up for you on the website so you can see what you're getting.
Wow.
They send you a prepaid, they also frame items. So, if you have like tickets or a jersey or a paper or something physical that you have that means a lot to you, they can frame that for you. They can even send you a prepaid package to ship it in, or you can send it yourself. You can even upload directly from Instagram and get it framed. Go to FrameBridge right now, and you're never going to go to the frame store again. I'm telling you, it's the future of framing stuff. All the shipping is free, and their prices start at just $39 right now. Go to framebridge.com, use promo code Jenna Julien for 15% off your first order.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors. Marble, you having fun up here? Marble, you on the podcast? Do you want to come make a noise for us? I love when he sits up here with us. Wow. Is that right? Wow. Sir. Oh, he's so sleepy.
He's always sleepy. Bro, what do you do besides sleep? Is that your whole life?
He makes that noise. He's an old man.
He is an old man.
All right, here you go. I'm sorry to bug you, bud.
He's a good little old man.
You're just so handsome, and I like to say hello to you on occasion. I don't want to leave him. I get so sad when we travel and we don't have the dogs.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I know.
Anyways.
I miss them. Should we move on to Stranger Things?
Whatever you want.
Let's move on to Stranger Things.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, just like everyone and their mom right now, we are in love with Stranger Things. We watched it in like 20 hours and it was amazing.
It was really great.
It was so good.
It was really fucking great.
Really fucking great.
Okay, first thing though.
Yeah.
I'm the realist. First thing.
Okay, Iggy Azalea.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I saw everybody on social media talking about it, as I'm sure everyone has. And people are like, Stranger Things is so great, so great, so great. And I didn't look up anything about it. All I saw was the little poster with the red letters that said Stranger Things. And I was like, I know there's kid actors. And that's about all that I knew. And then we started watching it. And I was terrified. It was fucking scary.
It was legitimately scary.
And nobody said that beforehand.
Jenna can't handle scary.
I get fucking scared.
And you needed
I needed a heads up.
No, you were under the impression that like, oh, it's mainstream. Like everyone watches it. So
yeah, everyone's like, oh, Stranger Things is so good. Oh my God. And I'm like, dude, I can't. I want to watch that. So then I sit there and I'm like, what the? Like the opening scene.
Yeah, I mean,
this is fucking terrifying.
There are jump scares. That's the thing. Like, no matter how unscared you are of things, jump scares are gonna get you, and they're terrifying. And you know those noises and the coming out of the wall. Like, it had a lot of really dark vibes of like things that you'd see in horror movies. So that's something I legitimately agree with that we didn't expect.
I was scared,
but I like that they used it in moderation. It didn't just become like a horror series. Like there were moments of being scary, but it felt like they executed so well, and they were trying to like portray the other side, and they've done such a good job of painting that picture for you. And I love like I just like I appreciate so much visually about that show, the way that they decorate the sets of the other side comparatively to the real life. Oh my God, it's so cool! Like the little things, like the floating particles. I mean, everything is just really, really cool, really beautiful show. So I've compiled some of your questions. I went on Twitter at Jenna Julien Pod on our Twitter account, and I said, guys, if we're going to do a Stranger Things podcast, what questions do you have for us to discuss? And a lot of you guys left awesome questions, and I wrote them all down in a note, so I don't have your ats on here, but thank you all who submitted questions. I appreciate it. Why don't we just start with the first question?
Go ahead.
How is 11 connected to the monster? If at all.
I don't think that 11 is per se connected to the monster. I think that the same company, whatever that fucking place is,
the lab,
they were developing the ability to contact, like to use telekinesis and to
make contact.
Just her psychic abilities and to connect with the shadow realm or whatever. And that because she did that and she made a portal, that's how they got into whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's connected to the monster. I think that she just,
like, innately, her only connection is that she
is the
telephone.
Yeah, basically. She's the telephone.
I agree with that. I don't think she has some deep-rooted connection to that.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
Okay, here's another question that I really want to answer.
Okay.
Is there only one monster?
No, I say no. That was the most laughable part to me about the whole thing.
Like, is this monster like the Santa Claus of monsters? He's just everywhere at once?
No, of course not.
There has to be more.
Well, they made a lot of like references to possibly not being the case. Remember when they saved the boy Will, and at the end, and he's in the fucking shadow realm and whatever, and they pull that thing out of him that was like a living little tentacle.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be more. Whenever there's another dimension, that's like saying someone accidentally stepped into the human dimension where we are.
One human.
And you saw one human and you fucking killed it.
I think completely there's not one.
What monster. A horrible assumption to make that there's only one.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a specific moment in the show when one person was being, or was interacting with a monster at the same time when there was hints. Like, for instance, like, remember when he's in his little hut in the shadow realm, right? And hold on. And he's just sitting there and he's like singing to himself, and then he hears a monster run by, right? Wasn't that around the same time as when, Nancy and what's his name were trying to bait the monsters at the house? Like, I felt like they couldn't just be one monster. I mean, I just feel like there's not one monster.
Yeah.
Fair to move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does no one give a fuck about Barb?
I was saying the same thing
Why
though,
did
too.
no one care before, during, or after she died?
They're all looking for Will, right? The little boy. Yeah. And no one gives a fuck that Barb is dead.
Yeah. By the way, I called Barb's death, right?
Well, yeah, you did.
I was proud of that.
Her parents aren't there flipping out. Nobody's flipping out. Everyone's just so excited. We got Will back, and Barb is fucking dead.
Barb's dead. Nancy has like a moment of being sad, and then she's back with Steve. Everything's good. Right? By the way, we'll get to that.
But her car was still there. Like, nobody gave a fuck. Her car was there for like a whole day before I think the lab people moved the car or something. Yeah. When she's getting dragged into the pool, into the Shadow Realm, and she's screaming, and Nancy's having sex with Steve or whatever. Ew. Right at that moment when she was being dragged in, I was like, oh, she's dead. Like, there's no way, like, she's not surviving the Shadow Realm because of the fashion in which she was brought into it. Yeah. There was blood, which we noticed was the first time that they attracted to blood, and the way she was being dragged into that pool. Like, there's no way she's escaping. For Will, for everyone else who had been to the Shadow Realm, there were reasons that they could have not died. But for Barb, I was like, oh, she's dead. And then she was dead. Right. And her face looked all chewed up. Remember that? Well, yeah, but so, 11 was in the kiddie pool full of salt floating around, telecommunicating with the other side. And she sees fucking Barb that is like dead and covered in like alien maggots. And she's just like, gone, or whatever she said about Barb. Mm-hmm. And everyone just looks around and is like, oh, bummer, too fucking bad. And then she finds Will and they're like, is it Will? Is it him? And I'm like, nobody gives a fuck about Barb. They didn't care. Nobody cares.
They really put all their eggs, the show, in a whole thing. Like, they put their eggs into the Will basket. And so, like, when they like,
so fucked.
Like, glaze over the fact that another human being child had died.
So fucked. Can I say, though,
but also, what?
Like, going off topic for 1 second, sort of.
Go ahead.
I feel like the show is fantastic. And what are the two brothers, the Duffer brothers? Is that right? Am I saying that?
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks.
It's something like that. The brothers that made the show.
Oh, yeah. The creators. Yeah. Duffer
you can brothers. Totally tell that this was their baby for years, that they had been writing this story for years, that they loved it. They finally fucking made it. And you know what? I don't know that. This is what it seems like. But it seems like they've been working on this story for a while, for a hot second. Mm-hmm. I will be interested to see where the series goes in the future, because like the pacing of the show is so fantastic. The way that they took its like time to reveal itself.
Really, really well done.
So the first 6 episodes, you're still in so much suspense.
Exactly. It's
like
brilliant.
you don't have.
So you're curious to see if they're able to continue that style of not like playing their cards all at once in the second season.
Well, because clearly there's a lot of other mysteries to be uncovered in the future. You can take the story in a lot of different directions. Yeah. But are they going to lose that magic from this first season?
Yeah.
Because maybe we don't know. Maybe they're under a time crunch to write a second season, or maybe they've already written a second season.
I heard today from a friend that October is when the second season comes out.
Oh, so that's already
That's what I just heard from one person. It could be completely false, but
Who is this person?
Jiu-Jitsu. His name is Jiu-Jitsu.
Does he work at Netflix?
No, it's one of my Jiu-Jitsu buddies. They were saying like it comes out in October. And I was like blown away, because I was like, they probably...
But didn't this season just come out?
Yeah, but they could have gotten done with production a long time ago and just started the next season right away. I'm just saying, like, this is what I've heard. It could be completely false, but it could also have some truth to it.
I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket, anyone that's listening.
I would put my execute in that basket.
Julian's friend from Jiu-Jitsu said October, so get excited.
Because Julian's friend from Jiu-Jitsu said it, so deal with it. All right. Is Will now forever connected to the other side? And if so, in what capacity?
I say yes, because he had that tentacle inside of his body, and then he spit up some weird little leech into the sink and then flashed into the Shadow Realm. I mean,
he's definitely connected.
There's a couple of possibilities, right? The one is that it's like an alien scenario or whatever, where once it gets inside of your body, you're now the host, and then you become the alien, or you breed the alien in some capacity. Like maybe him spitting out that little leech is now, that's going to grow into be an alien. But maybe in some way he's the host, So either he turns into an alien or has the ability to go back and forth, or he is able to breed little aliens. Yeah. But I say he is connected. For sure.
I feel like him getting to the point of having the alien literally inside, not the alien, the monster, Demogorg, literally inside of him, bonds him to the Shadow Realm in a way that only someone who has been literally like infiltrated physically by the Shadow Realm can have. So I'm not saying that he's definitely going to end up in the Shadow Realm and die, but he's definitely, like, he is more connected to the Shadow Realm than any human being ever.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's almost as connected to the Shadow Realm as the Demogorg, but he's not there yet. He's just, like, partially. So I'm agreeing with you. I just think he's more connected.
Yeah.
Like, for good.
Yeah.
Is 11 alive?
I think 11 is alive.
Why?
I don't think that using your telekinesis could ever make you just explode into another dimension.
So where did she go?
I mean, I don't know, but I don't think that she's dead.
Because it felt like, well, I don't think she's dead either, but it felt like a sacrifice.
Well, yeah, but okay, so what's his face, the deputy, sheriff, whatever the fuck, I don't know, I still don't know what to make of that scene. Because remember, right after everything unraveled, you get all this closure.
The waffles.
The guy goes, the deputy, oh my God.
Deputy.
Shut up.
The
what was
sheriff
his
deputy.
name?
I forget his name too.
So he gets in the car with the guys, whatever the fuck, and they clearly tell him something about 11, or I don't fucking know, because then he's putting these Eggo waffles inside of a box in the woods, which indicates that something is going on with 11 and that she still needs some food.
Which leads into my next question of what are the stipulations of the sheriff's deal with the laboratory? Because he clearly has the deal.
I don't know. I was still talking about 11 being alive.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm just saying when you said he got into the van, or the car or whatever, it just reminded me of that. But yeah.
I don't know. I think it was just so that he doesn't talk anymore. But maybe he, by some chance, found out some information about 11 and still cares about her and wanted to make sure that she wasn't.
So you definitely think that, you don't doubt at all that him putting the waffles there is a genuine, he knows it's going to help her. It's not some sort of emotional thing that he's doing to feel good and put the waffles there to remember 11. It's actually 11's alive.
Yeah. And potentially she transported into the Shadow Realm permanently by using her telekinesis at that level.
How would him putting the waffles in our realm?
Because if she's in the Shadow Realm, maybe she can get to it somehow.
Wouldn't he have to put it in the Shadow Realm? Maybe that spot is a hot spot for the Shadow Realm.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe she can get to it somehow.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. I
don't think 11 is dead at all.
She's dead.
Just out of pure logic, she was a fantastic actress.
Yeah, really good actor.
She's not just going to disappear. There's no way.
Yeah. What is the deal that he struck?
I don't know. Just don't talk about it. And then
but he's clearly being given insider information now.
Or maybe he's not. Maybe he just thinks 11 is there. Or he's been talking to her with what's-her-face's fucking Christmas lights.
Well, is the bad man, is he dead? What happened to him? Did he die?
Wait, who's the bad man?
The father of 11. The guy who runs the whole show.
Ooh,
is he dead? Because it gives you reason to believe he died.
I think he's dead.
He got killed by the Demogorg.
I think he's dead.
So,
he's in the Shadow Realm, just chilling.
There's one of the two. He's either dead or in the Shadow Realm because he's not in our realm.
Well, if 11's in the Shadow Realm and so is the bad man.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That could be a great storyline right there. But
and they're controlling shit from the Shadow Realm.
I personally think I'm going to take a leap and say the bad man is dead because Dr. Brennan or whatever his name is, because
Dr. Daddy.
Because the way the laboratory's people, after that whole fight in the school when the woman died and Dr. Brennan seemed to has died, whatever. It seems like the whole dynamic between the lab and the sheriff shifted, and he now has a deal with them. They now respect each other. They're cordial. They're not fighting anymore. They're not arresting him.
But all of that could happen if the bad man was in the Shadow Realm.
That's true. That's true. You got me there. That's true.
Because remember how 11 made the woman and all those other people cry blood?
Yeah.
Therefore, if the Demogorg came, he would kill all of those people because they were bleeding.
Yeah.
But when the Demogorg got the bad man, there was no blood.
Well, and also
she didn't make him cry blood. He came in after.
Yeah. Yeah.
He could be alive in the Shadow Realm like Will, because when they were abducted, there was no presence of blood. It's a possibility. Because, think of it this way, right? So if the people that it abducts that are bleeding, the Demogorgs think they're food. But the people that it abducts for seemingly no reason, and then they stay in the Shadow Realm and don't get killed, maybe they're bringing them there to be hosts like Will to then get the Demogorg inside of their bodies and whatever the fuck.
It's a really good theory.
Right?
It's a really good theory.
Because there's like...
Because that's an agenda that would clearly benefit the Demogorg.
Right. So if it doesn't think that you're food if you're not bleeding, so it brings you there to then be a host. So the bad man is a host.
So they were basically just priming Will to be the host. He got him to be a host. They were like keeping him in there. So
right, and we still don't know what host means.
Yeah.
But maybe that's an explanation as to why the Demogorg kills some people or tries to kill some people and doesn't kill other people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because the very first episode when it abducts Will or whatever, why isn't Will dead? It's not because he ran away from the Demogorg. If the Demogorg pulls you into the Shadow Realm, it either wants to kill you or it doesn't.
It had plans for him other than killing him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. All right. So now possibly the most important question of the series. Why is Nancy with Steve again? What the fuck is that?
Oh, it's too true. I don't fucking know, man.
That honestly confused me because they're like,
it's like that one friend that just won't fucking listen to you no matter what you say to them. She gonna make her own choices and you gotta let her do it.
He's changed.
No, he hasn't.
He's not changed.
Maybe he'll change for 6 months and then he's gonna go back to his old shit.
My favorite part that Steve was exposed Steve was when he walks in and they're trying to trap the Demogorg and he's like, holy shit, what's happening? And then he just is made to look like the biggest idiot and kind of pansy throughout that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Right? And Will's brother's just like studding it out, killing the Demogorg and like, fucking killing shit. And that was my favorite part because it made Steve look so powerless in the Shadow Realm, where in the world he was this big shot, but then in the real shit that was happening, he's kind of useless.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will 11 ever meet her mother, and will it make the mother talk?
I think 11 will meet her mother, and I don't think it's going to make the mother talk. I think it's just going to make it weird.
I think they will meet, whether in this realm or possibly the Shadow Realm, because maybe the disabled mother will get dragged into the Shadow Realm. And I think what I think will happen is she's going to end up in the Shadow Realm with 11, talk to 11 in the Shadow Realm, get back into the real life, and then struggle with talking again, but eventually figure it out.
Okay.
Bold prediction, Cotton.
see if it pans out.
Is the teacher still safe?
Who is the teacher?
The guy with the mustache who helps them with the radio and is a cool guy. The awesome
and what happened that was making it seem like he wasn't safe?
He was on that date, right, with that girl, and he answered the phone. There was something that happened that made you think that he was in trouble.
I don't remember.
Oh, well, I guess nothing.
Was it the blonde lady, the ominous lady, showed up at his house or some shit like that?
Yes, that was it.
I think he's okay. He was pretty cool.
I think he's going to die.
I like him. Why would you keep this door to curiosity locked?
I know. Oh, I love him, but he's going to die. He's definitely going to die.
That's terrible. All right, keep going.
Well, I guess we kind of covered most of them. Does the sheriff now have quick access to the other side? I thought was a question.
I don't think he's quick access. I think he has access.
But quicker than the average Joe.
Well, he knows where the main portal is.
Yeah. But I mean, now that he has access because of his deal, is he able to just kind of jump back and forth?
No. Nor would anyone want to just jump back and forth between the Shadow Realm and the regular realm. First of all,
they have some lit parties down there.
The atmosphere is toxic, so it's not a good idea for people to just be jumping and chilling. Mm-hmm. And we know that there's multiple portals. Mm-hmm. There's one in that building, but then there's also the one that Nancy's dumbass just fucking crawled into that tree. Mm-hmm. I will never get over that scene. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah, she had to get rescued AF.
Whatever. But there's multiple portals.
Yeah. I
don't think anyone's just going to be jumping back and forth.
Yeah, I don't see a reason for him to do it either. Since he just put the Eggo waffle in.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, because one thing that the show keeps showing is that the portals keep growing. Like, you know all those little slow shots of, like, in the shed where, like, every time or every place someone is taken by a Demogorg, it seems to open up one of those little portals, right?
Yeah, like in the chalkboard or in the wall. Yeah.
Right. Is it a possibility that as this world progresses, everything just becomes Shadow World.
Like it'll just overcome the real world?
Our entire world is just like covered in portals and access between both sides.
I don't think one can overtake the other. I think they will always coexist.
Okay, but like, so everywhere that we are, though, there's portals.
There's potential to be portals. There's not portals already. There's only portals when they make them.
Right. So, but I mean, if this continues on, you can imagine a place where there's so many portals, or at least easy access from all over the place.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know what your question is.
I guess my question is, do you think that's a possibility? That the portals will keep growing?
I think a portal can kind of end up literally in any specific point in our world to take you to the Shadow Realm. I don't think the location of the portal matters. I just think the reason for that portal existing, that's all that needs to happen.
But, okay, what do you think the reason for the portal existing is? Because I say it's whenever a Demogorg comes in, wherever that location that it came in from creates a portal.
So you think when they create a portal, that portal was always a portal?
Yeah, then it stays. Like, how do you explain otherwise why there's a portal near the tree, or why all of a sudden there's a portal in the wall, or why there's a portal?
Yeah, I mean, maybe once a portal's created, that spot is forever a working portal.
Right. Okay. So go down that line. Okay. Do you think there will be a time where there's just portals all over the place?
Yeah.
Or that there will be a time when you can sort of seamlessly or not even consciously travel back and forth the way that Will did in the last scene when he's going back and forth between the Shadow Realm and reality.
I think that eventually people are going to be able to go back and forth very quickly because of the overwhelming amount of portals.
Or maybe not even on purpose.
Or not on purpose, or because you're a host, like Will.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. Anyways. My brain hurts.
My brain hurts too. All right, well, let's finish it off. What are your predictions for next season?
Well, first of all, I don't know if there's going to be a next season.
My prediction first is that there will be a next season.
Well, October, according to your friend from Jiu-Jitsu.
If he's right.
My prediction is that 11 is not dead.
Okay.
We're going to see some sort of storyline with Will having this ability to travel back and forth between the Shadow Realm and the real realm. And it's either going to be helpful or something really fucking terrifying. I think it's going to be helpful. But he's going to have some sort of trouble with the fact that maybe he's now connected to Demogorgs.
Okay.
Or he turns into a Demogorg. That would be lit as fuck. If all of a sudden one scene, Will's face just opened up like that flower and now he's just a person Demogorg. A Demogorg.
I think a third party is going to be introduced in the next season.
What does that mean?
Right now, there's humans and Demogorgs. There's our realm and the Shadow Realm. I think some third element will be introduced.
Ooh, good prediction. Like the game. Like what was the other one they were playing with? It was like a Medusa with fire-breathing fire shit.
Oh, yeah, the game they're playing, which is basically a parallel for the whole series.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a third element. That's my biggest prediction. Yeah. Are you good?
This is basically Jumanji, is what you're saying.
No, there are no animals.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
It's Jumanji, though.
It's not Jumanji.
It's Jumanji.
It's so not Jumanji.
But they're playing a board game, and everything that they're playing in the board game comes in real life, except one is...
The board game is not...
But the board game isn't reality. The comparison I'm trying to make.
The board game it's a parallel.
Yeah, but you understand.
No, but in Jumanji, the board game...
I'm just saying. It's just they're playing a board game.
I'm disputing
this. Oh, my God.
In Jumanji...
You're missing the point.
In Jumanji, the board game is a literal interpretation of what happens.
I know what happens in Jumanji.
In this series, the board game is just kind of a parallel. It's not exactly the same. There are a lot of parallels with all the things that they're doing with their moves and their characters and their, locations on the board, and the flipping over the board being the Shadow Realm. That there's all just parallels. It's not you know what I mean?
Yeah, no one was saying that. All I was saying is that it's like Jumanji. No,
you said it is Jumanji.
Oh my God.
You said it is Jumanji.
I want to see the other characters that they use in the board game, like fucking Jumanji, come to real life.
Jumanji.
Nobody said this is a literal Jumanji remake.
Rewind the tape. You said that 2 seconds ago.
It wouldn't be called Stranger Things. It would be called Jumanji 2K16. Netflix. Subscribe. This conversation is over.
Well, with that, we'll leave you guys.
Come get your man. Whose man is this?
Whose Demogorg is this? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the discussion on Stranger Things and Inside. You know, obviously there will be more podcasts on Stranger Things as the new seasons come out and more things happen, because it's just such an exceptional show that I love, and I can't believe we are so lucky to have been graced with.
It was really, really great.
It's just one of those shows that like you're left thinking about it in the best way possible. So huge fans of Stranger Things. Can't wait to see what's next. And right now we're in London. So we're here, but we're in London. So if you're in London, say hi to us. If you see us, we'll be hanging around for a couple more days and then heading back home. Check out FrameBridge. Get your stuff framed online. Very easy. And check out Movement Watches for sweet, sweet watches.
And check out Bobble's butt. Wow.
He's like giving you the butt right now.
You itchy little guy? Oh, thanks.
I think he liked this. He needed some attention.
This is how he used to sit at work all the time.
Yeah. That's how I used to have Peach sit at my work. Remember when she was tiny enough to sit on the...
Yeah, I love it.
Anyway, we love you guys very much. Hit us in the comments with your thoughts on Stranger Things. Yeah. And on Inside, we'd love to.
And also Jumanji, because why not?
Do not comment. You will be banned from the channel if you write the word Jumanji.
No, you won't.
You will.
Jumanji.
Just do this emoji. No.
Jumanji.
I love that emoji.
Boy.
All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Dave.
Bye.